The following is a production of White Lightning Entertainment. This is Burning Rubber Radio.
For Tyler Reddick, his first stage win of the season and his first at Phoenix. And Bell can cruise to the stage win, his first of 2024. And around goes Logano. And another former champ having a bad day in Phoenix.
He was here at the test, put in the time, worked hard, and it's paying off.
This will be his fourth consecutive season with a victory in the NASCAR Cup Series. Christopher Bell off the final corner, and he wins in Phoenix.
Excellent job, Adam. White Knight, Willie, everyone on this 20 car, thank you guys. Excellent car.
Burning Rubber Radio is brought to you by Drive Refine. It's more than driver coaching. It's Drive Refine. Visit driverefine.com to get signed up today. Now from the White Lightning Entertainment Studios in Statesville, North Carolina, here's your host, Andy DeLay.
Yeah, Burning Rubber, baby. It's producer Wayne, along with the NASCAR chef John Dixon. John, where's he at?
I don't know, Wayne. I think we lost Andy somewhere. He got flushed or something. I don't know what happened.
Wait a minute. You said he got flushed. Wait a minute. No, I know where Andy's at this week.
He was playing cards.
Huh?
He was playing cards. He got flushed.
Yeah, he was playing cards, all right. No, Andy, stop. I should not have given him that mic to go in the bathroom. That is...
Lord, Wayne, I tell you.
I tried to be nice because he said he wanted to be on the show this week, even though he had to run out the door real quick. And here he goes. He got back up to his old antics again and putting a mic up to his backside. And Andrew, we love you. We love you, but man, I could kick you sometimes.
I didn't say that.
Better yet, I'll just call his wife and be like, "Hey, Sue, do me a favor, smack him around a little bit, will you?"
Lord.
And I'm sure she would too. Oh man, but we have got a stacked show for everybody again this week here on Burning Rubber, and man, John, talk about the NASCAR Cup Series. We'll delve more into it here in News of the Week coming up in just a little bit, but Seabell.
He spanked him, Wayne. I tell you, he spanked him. He was the fastest car all day. When they came in and everybody changed tires, he still spanked them. But like you said, we'll get in that in a little bit. So
Yep. We will definitely get into that here in just a little bit. And then because God knows Denny Hamlin didn't have a good day either, even though he qualified on pole and actually got JGR their 150th career pole overall. So that was a unique stat from this past weekend. But pit stall number 1 did not save Denny this time around, especially with that self-spin in stage 3.
Yeah, he had a good car though. He was fast.
Yeah, he was. But we'll touch on all of that more on here in News of the Week coming up in just a little bit. But we got to talk about our guests this week as well too here for the show, and we're checking back in this week again with one Dawn Perdue, Jet Dragster. And folks, you're probably wondering, hey, wait a minute, they just talked to her like a month and a half ago. Why are they talking to her again? Well, if you remember, back then, she did not have her schedule out yet for 2024 as far as the races that she was running, except for Rockingham. And
yeah, you are correct, Wayne. Yeah, she didn't have her schedule ready, and in a couple of weeks, she's going to try to break the 300-mile-an-hour mark. So that's going to be great, guys.
And the fact that she's going to be doing it in a jet engine dragster, woo-hoo. Ooh, that's going to be
better her than me, brother.
Oh, trust me, better her than me too, because I guarantee you, of the 5 levels of fatness, me being at number 4 at fluffy, I guarantee you, running in one of those things, I would go from 4 to 1 real quick.
Well, I'm looking forward to talking to Dawn. She's a wonderful lady, and we're going to have her on in a little bit.
Yeah, we're going to have her on just a little bit here as well this week on Burning Rubber. And speaking of news, like I said, we got a whole bunch of it for you guys this week. We have got IndyCar to talk about with the St. Pete Grand Prix from this past weekend down in Andy's neck of the woods in St. Petersburg, Florida. The NASCAR Cup Series and Xfinity Series were out at Phoenix this past weekend as well. A little bit of Truck Series news to touch on. MotoGP's got some stuff coming up here as well. And speaking of dragsters, John, a little bit of NHRA news as well to touch on this week. So another big thing happening down in Florida this weekend or this past weekend and whatnot, and that being the Gator Nationals.
Yep, they were running down there and running good, bro.
Oh, yeah. And that the Florida humidity doesn't stop them in the wintertime.
No.
So. I mean, what was it? We heard it when they were at not Brainerd, but what is that one? What was that one that we talked about?
They were at Bradenton, I think.
Or Bradenton, yeah, where they were pushing 340 miles an hour.
That's crazy.
Like how it's crazy how one can do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But one thing we also got to talk about this week too is going to be Bristol Motor Speedway coming up this weekend for NASCAR's Top 3 Series. And one thing with Bristol, we say it when it comes to the trucks, we say it when it comes to Xfinity, or not the trucks in Xfinity, excuse me, the 1.5s, the super speedways, even most of your other short tracks like Richmond and Martinsville. We constantly say how unpredictable things are going to be at certain tracks like that. But when it comes to Bristol, John, we mean it.
Yeah, and I got 2 words for that track, Wayne.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, no dirt.
Yeah, thank God, right? No more Bristol dirt.
Oh, my gosh.
I could
a lot of the team members were telling me that was a nightmare because, Wayne, people don't realize that dust gets into every crack and crevice of that car, and they almost just have to just set those cars aside and use them just for the dirt because it is just a nightmare for the teams. And I don't care what anybody says. Those drivers are just being nice when they say they enjoy it there because they don't. So, hats off to NASCAR for taking that off the schedule and changing it, and here we go.
Yeah, I mean, because really, in theory, personally, if they wanted to do a dirt series style race, instead of using the current Gen 7 model, kind of like what we talked about, last week on the show, where really, in theory, what they should do is just develop a Gen 7 style dirt car specific for dirt tracks, and then that way, when they do run those dirt tracks, they've already got a car that is specific to that style of racing, and in theory, you don't have to change up anything.
Yep, absolutely. You're correct, Wayne, because that's a nightmare for those guys. And, I'm glad, like I said, hats off again to NASCAR for changing that. And we're back to real racing at Bristol. So here we go, boys.
Yeah,
it's Bristol, baby.
It's Bristol, baby. And but with that said here, folks, speaking of uncertainties, though, one thing we are certain of is that we have some partners that we need to talk about this week on the show, one being MyPillow. Make sure you go over to mypillow.com/BRR and use the code BRR at checkout for free shipping on your entire order. I have to make sure, per Andrew DeLay, that I emphasize that point because it's not free. Something else. God knows he confuses that every single week. I don't know why. I don't know how, but he does.
Yeah, guys, free shipping. Use BRR as your checkout code, and you'll get some good stuff from them wonderful people at MyPillow.
Yep. Go over to mypillow.com/BRR and use the code BRR at checkout. Drive Refine as well, folks. We got to talk about them too. Joey Coulter and the awesome staff over at Drive Refine. No matter if you race real world or simulation, visit driverefine.com and help get yourself a little driver coaching in regards to a better relationship between you and your crew chief. Again, that is driverefine.com. And then we cannot forget the awesome folks over at iRacing as well. Visit iRacing.com and get signed up today for the world's premier online motorsports simulator. And when we say premier online motorsports simulator, the graphics quality, the overall just beauty of iRacing is second to none. And the fact that, Dale Jr. is a part of it too as one of the executive directors, that just adds flavor to iRacing, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's some good stuff, guys. Check it out.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, check out iRacing.com. Again, folks, the world's most premier online simulator. And with that said here, folks, it is that time that we step aside, take that first commercial break of the show. But when we come back, we have got news of the week to touch on for you, including Cup Series, Xfinity Series, a little bit of MotoGP, and a whole lot more for you. So don't you dare go anywhere. We'll be right back.
To celebrate the new year, we're having the biggest sale ever on overstock clearance and brand new products. For example, save 60% on our Goose Down comforters, the best comforters ever. They go perfectly with our MyPillow bed sheets and duvet covers. Save 25% on our brand new kitchen towels. They're made with the same technology as our famous My Towels. Our initial quantities are extremely low, so get them now before they go. Our seasonal flannel sheets are finally in. You save up to 50% and they sell out fast every year, so order now. They're truly the best flannel sheets you'll ever sleep on. Or save up to 80% on all our clearance items. And this is where it gets even better. For a limited time, your entire order ships absolutely free. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use that promo code to get deep discounts on all MyPillow products. And for a limited time, your order ships absolutely free.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver. And we dedicate a lot of our time to going as fast as possible. My grandpa Lou is the reason why my dad and I started racing, and I'm really proud to follow in his tracks. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. I've learned a lot on this journey with my grandpa Lou, and the memories of my grandpa will always be with me. And in our family, we're used to getting involved, and I encourage you to do the same, especially when it comes to caring for your loved ones. When I think about Alzheimer's and the impact it had on my family, I recognize that losing a race isn't such a bad day after all. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently, experiencing problems with their memory, or having trouble with routine tasks. Talking about Alzheimer's can be really tough, but if you notice something, have a conversation with your loved one. Encourage them to see a doctor or offer to go with them. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services, make a plan for the future, and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together.
We all make choices. When it comes to alcohol, kids make choices whether to drink or not.
Bye, Dad.
Bye-bye.
Remember, I'm going to Alex's party tonight and sleeping over.
Have fun. Hey, have a seat for a second. Remind me about that party again?
Alex is just
And adults make choices whether to talk about it. That's true of parents and every other trusted adult in a kid's life. Kids want to know our expectations when it comes to alcohol and other drugs. They want guidance and honest answers to their questions. And it makes a difference when the message is consistent and part of everyday conversations. So talk with your kids and help lead them on a positive path. Because when you talk, they hear you. For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
What can we learn from a child?
That spreading joy
is more important than a trophy.
That when we help others,
we heal ourselves.
That with a little love,
we can make the biggest impact.
At Speedway Children's Charities,
our mission
is simple.
Help every child we can.
Because all children deserve joy.
And hope.
And love.
And if one child is still in need,
then there's still work to do.
Because their future
is our future.
And there's still so much they can teach us.
Burning Rubber is social. Follow us on X at twitter.com/BRR_radio. Now back to more Burning Rubber.
And we are back on Burning Rubber. It is producer Wayne, along with the NASCAR chef John Dix. And John, man, I'll tell you what, we're just going to dive head first on in here when it comes to the news of the week that we're going to talk to everybody about this week. And NASCAR Cup Series, man, I thought Joey Logano had something for him this past weekend. He was starting to show some strength. Denny Hamlin, obviously, on pole. You know, got JGR, their 150th career pole overall in the NASCAR Cup Series. But one thing that it was a JGR car that won, but it was not meant to be for Denny Hamlin with a solo spin in Stage 3 this past weekend at Phoenix Raceway. Christopher Bell, however, gets the win. And if I remember hearing correctly, it was over 5 seconds difference between him and RFK Racing, Roush Fenway Keselowski Racing's Chris Buescher.
Chris Buescher, yeah, Chris ran second. And I tell you, Wayne, you know, he spanked him. That 20 car spanked him. He was the class of the field all day. Yeah, you know, when Denny spun out, which Denny had a good car, you know, and he spun out and it messed the field up because half of them had come in and pitted, the other guys hadn't pitted, and then Joey goes and backs into Joe Nemechek. I don't know what that was all about, but
John
you know,
Hunter,
John Hummer. I'm sorry, John John Hunter Nemechek, and thank you, Wayne. Joey backed into him, or John Hunter ran into him, one or the other.
Listening back to the audio while I was watching it on Fox over the weekend here, back on Sunday, is that Joey was like, oh, he knows you're gonna whoa up in the corner there, and he intentionally hit me, wah 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 wah. And I mean, yes, you do have to let up a little bit going into the corner at Phoenix, but you only have to let up by about maybe 15 to 20% throttle. You don't have to let up that much to where you're going to get rear-ended. So at that point, I think Joey let off a little more than he's admitting to.
Yeah, I think it was just a racing deal. I don't think it was anybody's real fault, but Joey, bless his heart, when he does it to somebody else, it's okay. But anyways, we won't go there. But
same
like
for
we were
Denny
talking
Hamlin.
a minute ago. Pardon?
Same for Denny Hamlin. So
yeah, but that 20 car spanked them, man. He was the class of the field all day and ran good and just chased them all down. And Chris Buescher ran good. I was good to see our buddy Chris. I can't wait to go see him at Talladega when we go up there.
Oh yeah.
But Chris had a good car, and his boss ran good. I think he finished fourth or fifth.
Yeah. Brad Kay got himself a good finish as well too. And not gonna lie when I say that I was actually rather impressed when it comes to the things that Brad Kay was doing this past weekend in the Cup Series. But a good old Seabell though. He had it on point.
And our buddy Noah Gregson ran good. Noah finished in the top 10.
Yeah.
And the 14 car of Stuart Haas, I think they ran a top 10 most of the last about 20, 30 laps. I think he finished like 11th or 12th. So those two cars are bringing it up a little bit. I talked to Zippy about 2 weeks ago, and he said they found some things that they're really excited about, and I'm happy for him because Noah's a good guy. We talked to Noah before. I've talked to him at the racetrack, and I'm glad to see that team do good.
Yeah, I am impressed to see everything go good with Noah Gragson as far as his return into the NASCAR Cup Series. So good on Noah, good on Seabell, good on Chris. Man, all the friends of the show are doing pretty darn good when it comes to the Cup Series this year. So we gotta give props where props are due. But moving on over here to the world of the Xfinity Series here, John, and we've got to talk about Chandler Smith because I'll tell you what, Chandler got a little rough and ready this past weekend when it came to Phoenix.
Yeah, it was good to see our buddy run good. Chandler's a friend of the show, too. And, Robin and I talked to him a couple times year before last down at Five Flags and the South Alabama Speedway, which we're going to this weekend. And I don't know. I don't think Chandler's going to be there. He's racing too big of things now. But, I was glad to see him do good. He's got a new baby just come along. And, glad to see that he's a wheel man. So,
man. Oh, by the way, John, you hear those footsteps? I hear. I see a wild Taylor Burris waving at us through the window. Like that's a scary thought.
Come on in, Taylor.
Yeah, well, nope. I locked the door. I made sure that Taylor couldn't get in. Andy's already blessed us with enough flatulence this week. We don't need any more.
Boy, I tell you guys, you never know what's going to happen over here at Burning Rubber Radio.
Yep, you never know in the world of Burning Rubber what's going to be going on here. But one last bit of news, too, that we can touch on here real fast before we get ready to head over to our next commercial break here is that the MotoGP Series, Francesco Bagnaia back on top once again this last weekend here. And they kicked off their season over in Qatar this weekend at the Qatar Grand Prix. And Francesco Bagnaia scored the win on Sunday after pole sitter Jorge Martin jumped out to an early lead. Bagnaia vaulted from 5th place to 2nd on just the first lap, and shortly after, the defending champion snatched the lead away and just ran away with it.
Wow.
So some really good stuff here. In fact, and also another big thing too here for MotoGP this past weekend here, John, is that with Qatar, it marked Trackhouse Racing's first start in MotoGP, which led to a mixed bag of results. Raul Fernandez endured a mechanical issue before the start, while Miguel Oliveira scored a point in 15th position. So Trackhouse didn't get off to the greatest start in MotoGP, but it sounds like they're making some small improvements.
Yeah, good to see Justin and those boys go over there and compete in that series. That'll be cool.
Oh yeah, and you know, I've always been a fan of MotoGP. Like I like the idea of the crotch rocket as far as like sports cars and just sport in general, motorsport in general. Now, am I a fan of it on the streets? Not so much, but on a racetrack, have fun all day long.
Yeah.
As God knows, and you and I both have seen this equally as much here, where we just see drivers for whatever reason they ride these bikes, and they'll be on the highway and they're just and it just gets annoying because it's a safety hazard for everybody else on the road.
Yeah, they need to get on the track and see what they can do.
Right, exactly. You put some of those guys on a racetrack, and I bet you that'll straighten them up real quick.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun watching that kind of racing, that MotoGP.
Yep, MotoGP, a lot of fun stuff to watch indeed. And when we come back here on the show here, folks, again, we're taking one more foreign fuel, and when we do, we are going to be sitting down with our featured guest of the week, Don Perdue from the Jet Dragster series. So don't you dare go anywhere.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and we dedicate a lot of our time to going as fast as possible. My grandpa Lou is the reason why my dad and I started racing, and I'm really proud to follow in his tracks. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. I've learned a lot on this journey with my grandpa Lou, and the memories of my grandpa will always be with me. And in our family, we're used to getting involved, and I encourage you to do the same, especially when it comes to caring for your loved ones. When I think about Alzheimer's and the impact it had on my family, I recognize that losing a race isn't such a bad day after all. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently, experiencing problems with their memory, or having trouble with routine tasks. Talking about Alzheimer's can be really tough, but if you notice something, have a conversation with your loved one. Encourage them to see a doctor or offer to go with them. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services, make a plan for the future, and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together.
To celebrate the new year, we're having the biggest sale ever on overstock clearance and brand new products. For example, save 60% on our Goose Down comforters, the best comforters ever. They go perfectly with our MyPillow bed sheets and duvet covers. Save 25% on our brand new kitchen towels. They're made with the same technology as our famous My Towels. Our initial quantities are extremely low, so get them now before they go. Our seasonal flannel sheets are finally in. You save up to 50% and they sell out fast every year, so order now. They're truly the best flannel sheets you'll ever sleep on. Or save up to 80% on all our clearance items. And this is where it gets even better. For a limited time, your entire order ships absolutely free. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use that promo code to get deep discounts on all MyPillow products. And for a limited time, your order ships absolutely free.
What can we learn from a child?
That spreading joy
is more important than a trophy.
That when we help others,
we heal ourselves.
That with a little love,
we can make the biggest impact.
At Speedway Children's Charities,
our mission
is simple.
Help every child we can.
Because all children deserve joy.
And hope.
And love.
And if one child is still in need,
then there's still work to do.
Because their future
is our future.
And there's still so much they can teach us.
Visit us online at burningrubberradio.com for recipes from the NASCAR chef, John Dix, and more great content.
Yeah, man, I'll tell you what, that dang old internet, man, you just go on there and point and click, 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 click. It's real easy, man.
Now back to more Burning Rubber Radio.
And we are back on Burning Rubber. It is producer Wayne and the NASCAR chef, John Dix. John, it is that time of the show here where we get in with our featured guest of the week, and my friend, we've got a returning guest once again here with us this week, and that being
Wayne.
one Jet Dragster, Dawn Perdue. And the interesting thing with Dawn, not only does she have her schedule ready for 2024, but rumor has it, Dawn, that when you go to Rockingham Dragway, and we know about this one from the last time we had John coming up in next month in April on the 14th, or the 13th, rather, excuse me, is that you are now being billed as attempting to break the land speed record at North Carolina Dragway. And right now, from the research that we were doing off the air here with you, because nobody seems to know what that record is, it at least appears to be 300 plus.
Yes, absolutely. Yep.
So at this point, we have to wonder, could it be 300? Could it be 301? Could it be 305?
Absolutely. We will know that eventually, and I'll make sure that everybody knows on the internet when I do break that this year. Hopefully, I will let everybody know what that land speed record is. And Dan Van Horn from Rockingham Dragway, the owner of the track, is going to let me know as soon as possible.
Very cool. So the sooner the better. That way we can push it for you too, and be like, hey, by the way, she's going to try and break 399.9999999.
Right.
That would be that would be awesome.
I mean,
Don, tell us your schedule that weekend so everybody can come see you.
Okay, so Rockingham, North Carolina, I'll be there on the 12th. We will be at the track. There's going to be an organization called NMRA, NMCA.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be on display on the 12th, which is Friday. And the 13th, I will be blasting down the quarter-mile two passes, hopefully over 300 miles per hour. We got a new car, so it's going to be faster, lighter, and everything. So I'm going to be holding on for dear life. So there's going to be Bigfoot there. There's going to be all kinds of racing, heads-up racing and everything. So bring the kids. I'll have shirts and candy and everything, autograph cards for free to, sign. And, the kids can come and sit in the car before I blast down the quarter mile.
So the cool part is you get your Friday is a showcase day, and then Saturday is all about business at that point.
Absolutely. I will be actually racing against this guy named Larry in his Thunderbolt dragster.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's going to be during the day, not nighttime, but hopefully everybody can come out, including you guys from Burning Rubber Radio, to come out and see me.
Yeah, if scheduling works out just as we hope it will, we should be able to make it out there to come see you on April the 12th and April the 13th over at Rockingham Dragway. And again, folks, Rockingham, North Carolina is where that is taking place at. So make sure you go and say hello to Dawn if you're here in the North Carolina area. But in the event that folks can't make it out to Rockingham Dragway this time around, Dawn, what is your schedule for the rest of 2024?
Well, it's shorter than it was last year. I had over 20-some races last year because it's a new car this year, and I'll be doing a funny car, jet car as well. So after after Rockingham, we will be at Cecil County Dragway in Maryland on the 26th. And then we will be at the end of May, Memorial Day weekend, we will be at Maple Grove in Reading, Pennsylvania for the Night of Chaos.
Ooh.
It will be Memorial Day weekend is
Memorial Day weekend typically is the last week of Monday in May, which let's see.
Right.
Technically would be May 27th this year.
It will be May 27th. So we will be on May 25th, and they're doing $40 car loads for that weekend.
Wow.
So anybody can just jam a bunch of people in there in their cars, and it could be $40 to get in for that race. And then other than that, I go totally across the United States.
Mm-hmm.
We go from New England Dragway to Ohio, Columbus, Ohio. And so we're all over the place so you guys can look at my schedule on my social media, which is, Dawn Purdue Racing or Dawn Purdue. And I have a website, DawnPurdueRacing.com. So everything eventually will be all on there when I get it up, everything by next week.
Awesome. All right. Well, folks, be on the lookout for that then there. And John, I think you had another question real quick there for her.
No, I was going to ask the same thing you asked, Wayne. Where was she going the rest of the year? Are you going to be down south here, Dawn, sometime in the summer or the fall?
Yes, and actually, I have the jet funny car that I'll be driving this year for another team. I will be in Georgia, and I'll be all over the place actually. So down south, I will be in Darlington. I'll be in Darlington, South Carolina. That'll be on the weekend of. Let me look here. So that'll be on the weekend of the. June 14th and 15th, I'll be in Darlington, South Carolina Dragway.
Okay.
Cool.
In all the years I've been in this area, I did not know Darlington had a dragster. Oh, well, you learn something new every day.
Last year was my first year going down there, and I loved it. It was for a bracket race, a memorial for a guy that got killed, and they put it on this will be the second year they're putting it on. So I'll be taking on another jet funny car with the Wicked Sensation. So it should be interesting. And with the jet dragster, we pretty much are up closer, past Pennsylvania and out Canada and stuff like that. But the funny car, we're going to be going into Florida areas and stuff like that. But that schedule has not been out yet. But it'll be updated soon.
All right. Well, we will be on the lookout for that. Again, folks, if you ever want to check out that schedule, it's Dawn Purdue Racing on all social media, Facebook, X, Instagram, all of the good stuff. Make sure you go and follow Dawn Purdue. And Dawn, if I'm not mistaken, I think you're on TikTok too, aren't you?
Yes, I am. Yeah.
Okay. And because Burning Rubber Radio just recently found the world of TikTok, so we've been having some fun over there. People are like, "Oh my God, it's those ugly guys."
I just started getting into TikTok too because I was like, man, I have everything, all the social medias except for TikTok. So I need to get on a move with all the videos and stuff like that when I have time. So I definitely need to get started to do more on TikTok for sure. That's the newest thing. Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's the trendy thing to do.
Absolutely.
Says the big voice guy.
Social media stuff.
Right. Yeah. Right. Says the big voice guy from behind me there. The trendy thing.
Absolutely.
Eventually, that'll be a sound effect that we put on the show here. The trendy. Never mind. I'm just going to shut up. So for folks that don't know, with what you do with your current jet dragster, aside from what you do with the funny car stuff here, Wicked Sensation, and folks, it's not what you think it is when it comes to being spelled as sensation. It is S-I-N, like you're committing a sin in sensation. And so for and trust me, folks, it's a great team to be running for. Dawn's been with them now for quite a while. In fact, actually, if I remember correctly, Dawn, you've been with them pretty much since you got started, weren't you?
Well, actually, no. The Wicked Sensation this would be going on 5 years. I raced for another team, Larson Motorsports, for 3 years, and then there was another team. So I've been racing these things for about 13 years, and then there was another team called the Jersey Thunder. So I started that in 2013. So this will be my third team, and then hopefully in 2025, I am going to be planning on doing a Dawn Purdue Racing jet team myself. So all-girl jet team.
There you go. Look at that. All right. Well, you heard it here first,
that's the
folks.
Plan.
You heard it here first, folks. Dawn Purdue Racing coming in 2025. So do be on the lookout for that. That's gonna be some pretty cool stuff. So aside from all of the social medias, including Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, and all of that stuff, what website can folks find you on? I think it was wickedsensation.com, wasn't it?
Yes, you can find it on that or DawnPurdueRacing.com. We'll be updating that more with all the schedules and everything out. We just got our last 2 races. We're going to stop it right there, so we had to take it off and then add more on there. So actually, it's off of there, and now we have to put it back on. Yes, you can find it on either website.
All right. And folks, again, if you go to look at it at Dawn Purdue, DAWNPERDUE, racing.com, or for Wicked Sensation, WICKEDSIN. Again, remember the sin and sensation, SIN, not SEN, but SIN in sensation.com there for Dawn Purdue. And Don, we get it from you every time we've had you on the show here, but knowing that we got that land speed record we're coming up on here, if we really want to shatter that bad boy, we got to get 3 famous words from you. A big old burning rubber, baby, at the top of your lungs.
Okay, I'm doing this at work, so it's going to be loud. All right, you ready?
Ready for it.
Burning rubber, baby.
All right.
There you go, Don.
Ladies and gentlemen.
I don't have that good voice of doing anything like that, so I'll have to practice on that at home sometime and get it down right.
Yeah, right, exactly. Oh, man. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is Dawn Purdue, Jet Dragster, checking back in with us here on the show this week. And again, folks, go check her out at Rockingham Dragway coming up here on April the 13th and 14th. Or, 12th and 13th, rather. I'm getting a day ahead of myself on both days. This whole time change thing, man, it has screwed with me horribly already.
Me too.
It was only an hour ahead, but here I am feeling like I'm a day ahead now. But either which way, make sure you go check out Dawn Purdue at Rockingham Dragway, April 12th and 13th. Next month over at Rockingham Dragway in Rockingham, North Carolina. But with that said, we're going to step aside. We're going to take our next commercial break. And when we come back, Dawn, are you ready to eat a little bit?
Sure.
Well, all right. Well, John's got tacos for us when we come back.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver. And we dedicate a lot of our time to going as fast as possible. My grandpa Lou is the reason why my dad and I started racing, and I'm really proud to follow in his tracks. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. I've learned a lot on this journey with my grandpa Lou, and the memories of my grandpa will always be with me. And in our family, we're used to getting involved, and I encourage you to do the same, especially when it comes to caring for your loved ones. When I think about Alzheimer's and the impact it had on my family, I recognize that losing a race isn't such a bad day after all. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently, experiencing problems with their memory, or having trouble with routine tasks. Talking about Alzheimer's can be really tough, but if you notice something, have a conversation with your loved one. Encourage them to see a doctor or offer to go with them. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services, make a plan for the future, and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together.
Looks like you've been sleeping well.
Megan, he's back. The My Pillow guy.
And you're looking good.
Still feeling good.
Well, just when you thought it couldn't get any better, we've got the best pillow ever, My Pillow 2.0. When I invented My Pillow, it had everything you'd ever want in a pillow. Well, now there's new technology that makes it even better. My Pillow 2.0 has my patented fill combined with a cooling fabric with temperature regulating thread. My Pillow 2.0 is truly the next generation of My Pillow.
Now's the time to go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use the promo code to save 50% on your MyPillow 2.0. Not only that, for a limited time, your entire order ships absolutely free.
You're sleeping even better.
And cooler, too.
And you're looking good.
Feeling good.
I knew you would.
mypillow.com.
What can we learn from a child?
That spreading joy
is more important than a trophy.
that when we help others,
We heal ourselves.
That with a little love,
We can make the biggest impact.
At Speedway Children's Charities,
our mission
is simple.
help every child we can.
because all children deserve joy.
And hope.
And love.
And if one child is still in need,
Then there's still work to do.
because their future
Is our future.
and there's still so much they can teach us.
The grill is fired up, and the chef has something good cooking. It's the NASCAR chef, John Dix, and more Burning Rubber.
And we are back on Burning Rubber, and it's producer Wayne along with the NASCAR chef, John Dix. And I swear, John, even during the break when we had a chance to put something up on TikTok here, folks. And by the way, as everybody knows, we record the show just a little bit earlier on in the week before you guys actually see everything. We're getting ready to possibly go back to being live every week so that you guys can actually hang out with us, chat with us, and do all sorts of other fun stuff. And then, of course, other affiliates throughout the week will have a chance to air the program. But
that'll be fun, Wayne.
yeah, we kind of miss the live chat aspect when it comes to Burning Rubber. And but in the process of while we were doing that here, we were doing a little video for TikTok over at tiktok.com/Burning Rubber Radio, and and I swear, Andy just keeps blowing it up, man. Like he's sitting over in the bathroom. I know he is, because we installed the speakers in there to be like, "Get your back over here."
I think he got lost, Wayne. I don't know.
Yeah,
I have to go check on him.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to go check on him, because word has it the Silver Alert is going back out again this week.
Lordy. Anyways, Wayne, we got a good recipe this week, man. We got it fired up. We got our shrimp pimp brought me some shrimp, and we're gonna do some roasted shrimp tacos.
Ooh, roasted shrimp tacos.
Yeah, we're going to start with 1 pound of raw shrimp, 2 tablespoons of olive oil. You want to split it up. 1 tablespoon of smoked paprika, a half a teaspoon of cumin and garlic powder, some salt and pepper to taste, 1 cup of whole kernel corn, a half a cabbage. You want to thinly slice it, a cup of chopped cilantro, 2 tablespoons of lime juice, 12 4-inch tortillas, and a cup of your favorite cheese. Now, you can use Gouda, goat cheese, whatever you like. What we're going to do, guys, we're going to preheat the oven for about 400 degrees. And in a bowl, you want to toss the shrimp with 1 tablespoon of olive oil, seasoned with paprika, cumin, garlic powder, salt, and pepper. Then spread the shrimp on a sheet pan and cook for about 10 minutes. Then, guys, after that, you're going to add the corn to the shrimp and cook for another 5 minutes. Now, if the corn happened to be frozen, add about 2 or 3 minutes to it. While the shrimp is cooking, you want to combine the cabbage, the cilantro, the lime juice, salt and pepper, and olive oil in a bowl. All right? After the shrimp is cooked, place equal parts on the tortillas, topping with the slaw mixture that you just fixed in a bowl, and then top it with cheese. Very simple, very good, very tasty, and really good for you.
Honestly, that sounds absolutely freaking amazing. Not gonna lie. And
some good stuff, Wayne.
Man, roasted shrimp tacos, John. Absolutely delicious stuff this week. And folks, wherever you get your recipe from, no matter if you find it on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Rumble, wherever you get your recipe at, make sure you get a hold of it from the NASCAR chef, John Dix. And, John, you've got a whole new email address that folks can reach out to you at now. It's no longer just Racing to the Grill. Now you are john@brrtv.net. And so with that, folks, you can either reach out to John directly with a recipe, or you can email us all directly at the studio at studio@brrtv.net. And let John know what you think of the recipe, and comments, snide remarks, whatever the case might be there, John?
That's right, Wayne. I'm looking forward to hearing from everybody. Give me your impulse, your thoughts, and send me some of your recipes. We might even put them on the show.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. And again, folks, send me an email at john@brrtv.net or studio@brrtv.net, and we'll see what we can do to get your recipe on the radio and on TV as well. But with that said here, folks, we have got to step aside. We have got to take that final commercial break of the show here. But we've got a last little bit of news of the week to touch on when we come back, including the St. Pete Grand Prix from this past weekend. We've got some NHRA news to touch on, USF 2000, and there is there's some word on the streets that there might be some people trying to break into the Truck Series, John. We'll have to find out about that when we come back.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and I'm here to tell you about my new product from MyPillow, towels that actually work. Watch this absorbency test. Here's another towel that we randomly went out and bought. Here's one of my towels with the nice design. I don't know if you can see this, but you could line a swimming pool with this. I mean, this is crazy. Get rid of it. Towels that actually work. What a concept. I'm interrupting this commercial to let you know you can get our 6-piece My Towels, regular $69.98, now only $29.98. Or you can save 25% on our brand new kitchen towels, made with the same technology as our famous My Towels. Also, we have bath sheets, bath towels, washcloths, hand towels, and so much more. And the best part, with your promo code, your entire order ships absolutely free. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen screen, use that promo code to get deep discounts on all my towels. And for a limited time, your order ships absolutely free.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver. And we dedicate a lot of our time to going as fast as possible. My grandpa Lou is the reason why my dad and I started racing, and I'm really proud to follow in his tracks. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. I've learned a lot on this journey with my grandpa Lou, and the memories of my grandpa will always be with me. And in our family, we're used to getting involved, and I encourage you to do the same, especially when it comes to caring for your loved ones. When I think about Alzheimer's and the impact it had on my family, I recognize that losing a race isn't such a bad day after all. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently, experiencing problems with their memory, or having trouble with routine tasks. Talking about Alzheimer's can be really tough, but if you notice something, have a conversation with your loved one. Encourage them to see a doctor or offer to go with them. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services, make a plan for the future, and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together.
What can we learn from a child?
That spreading joy
is more important than a trophy.
That when we help others,
we heal ourselves.
That with a little love,
we can make the biggest impact.
At Speedway Children's Charities,
our mission
is simple.
Help every child we can.
Because all children deserve joy.
And hope.
And love.
And if one child is still in need,
then there's still work to do.
Because their future
is our future.
And there's still so much they can teach us.
Burning Rubber is social. Follow us on Instagram at Instagram.com/Burning Rubber Radio. Now back to more Burning Rubber.
And we are back on Burning Rubber. It is producer Wayne along with the NASCAR chef John Dixon. John, I think somebody just joined in remotely. Taylor Burris. What up, T?
What up?
Yeah, where the hell have you been hiding?
Hey, TV.
I've been hiding in my little hole over here in Texas, busy working away with all the other stuff going on in the world of karting and dirt racing.
Lord have mercy. Well, folks, this is a voice you have not heard on the show in quite some time. He's remote right now. He jumped into one of the audio feeds that we have here on the show that was originally pre-built for him back in the day. So it's good to have Taylor Burris back here with us for just a little bit. And, T, you caught us at just the right time here because it is the last part of the show. You know, the fastest 60 minutes in motorsports. But we got some news that we got to touch on here real quick. And, John, we're going to jump right on into it. Over in the NHRA here, Coletta Motorsports got itself its first Nitro sweep this past weekend in Gainesville at the Gator Nationals down in Florida. And some good stuff all the way around there for those boys. And not to mention just that, but Antron Brown as well over in Top Fuel this past weekend picked up the Top Fuel All-Star call-out at the Gator Nationals down in Gainesville. So big stuff for Antron Brown. And he is, in his own right, one hell of a Top Fuel racer. So we gotta be talking about him for sure. And but now the biggest things here, and this is why I wanted to get to those real quickly here. A couple of bits of big news here as far as the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series is concerned here, folks. Brendan Queen, which is a name we have not heard very much of lately, except if you follow the Cars Tour. Cars Tour late model stock car driver Brendan Butterbean Queen will make his NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series debut with Tricon Garage coming up at North Wilkesboro Speedway in May. So, some really good news for another Cars late model stock car driver in Brendan Queen. We have already seen what Josh Berry can do. We've already seen what Carson Quapple can do. And Taylor, I know you follow late models about as much as I do when you're not following your stuff with karting and everything like that. So, seeing Brendan Queen make his way up into the world of NASCAR, that's some pretty big news.
Well, it really is, I have to say, Wayne. I mean, you got to think about it. Butterbean is absolutely one of those top prospects who deserves a shot of making his way up into the ranks of NASCAR. I mean, we saw the news not too long ago with, of course, Bubba Pollard getting his chance to run in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. And then, of course, you got some very talented, reputable drivers who are in the Cars Tour right now, like Pinty Series champion Trayton Lapsevich racing over there, who's definitely going to be a chance to keep an eye on as well. I mean, you got a whole crop of future superstars in the NASCAR world coming over, and then throw in Connor Zilisch.
Yep, Connor Zilisch as well, with the stuff that he's been doing, stuff that SVG's been doing, moving up into the world of Xfinity and ARCA. And then one other one that caught my attention here, since I know you're big on sports cars as well, Vassar Sullivan Lexus standout and reigning IMSA GTD Pro champion Jack Hawksworth has been named to take on a Truck Series run at COTA coming up here in a couple of weeks' time.
Yeah, absolutely great opportunity for Jack, as we look forward to seeing him racing in the Truck Series in a couple of weeks in my neck of the woods over here at Circuit of the Americas. Now, no longer Daytona, New Smyrna, or Volusia. It's now COTA. That is my home track, pretty much. Or Cotton Bowl Speedway. Depends on which type of racing you prefer. So, really good opportunity.
Either way, it's in your backyard. So
either way, 30 minutes from where I live. So yeah,
you're right.
Well, Taylor, tell the fans what you've been up to, bro.
Right.
Well, a lot of things. I got some things going on in the world of esports, of course, running the Grid Vision family, as we've been doing quite well with that. Karting, I'm more taking a step kind of towards the regional and pro-am levels. So I'm covering mostly some of the regional rock levels, TSRS, and that's kind of what I've been doing for the most part. A couple of other things. I've just joined on covering Race On, which is a Texas-based company that covers all the dirt and short tracks here in Texas. So we're covering that. I started my first job over at 105 Speedway past weekend, and going to be covering a lot of dirt and short track action on Race On. So go check us out on Roku and all social media platforms.
Yeah,
very cool.
There you go. Who knows? They might be coming. We might see them on Wingding eventually one of these days. So
who knows? We'll see what happens.
Yeah, who knows? You never know what happens with all these different platforms that we got coming up here. But one last big bit of news that we can touch on here before we get to picks for the last great Coliseum in Bristol, baby. And got to talk about this past weekend, John and Taylor. The St. Pete Grand Prix IndyCar is back in full swing, and Joseph Newgarden, man, he has not missed a step. You want to talk about straight up stomping them. We thought Seabell stomped him in the Cup Series this past weekend at Phoenix. Joseph Newgarden put on an even bigger stomping down in St. Petersburg.
Yeah, he did, Wayne. He did. He sure did. Good racing. All in all, we had a good time this weekend.
Oh, yeah, good stuff all the way around there. Joseph Newgarden, again, getting the win in IndyCar this past weekend here. And speaking of USF 2000, which is something that one of Taylor's boys used to race in here for a while, this past weekend, again, down at the St. Petersburg Grand Prix, we got to see Max Garcia, a 14-year-old standout, grab an early lead in the quest for this year's USF 2000 presented by Continental Tire, and gets himself the win this past weekend at St. Petersburg. And then I believe that is actually all of the news that we have for this week. Man, it is...
Yeah, Simon didn't have the best run over at St. Petersburg this past weekend in the pro category, finishing a DNF on race 1 and 11th place on the second race. So hopefully he'll have a better run coming up later on.
Yeah, we'll hope to see some good stuff for Simon Sykes coming up later on this year in the USF 2000 Pro Series. But with that said, we have got to get ourselves over to picks for the week here. And again, folks, Bristol Motor Speedway is on tap for this weekend. No dirt. We are going back to asphalt for St. Patty's Day. And so raise your glasses high, gents. We're going to be drinking that green beer on Sunday. And Taylor, you know what? Since you're back with us for a couple of minutes here this week, I'm going to give you honorary pick number 1.
Well, you know what? It's a really fun track. Great to be back on the concrete at Bristol instead of the dirt. But you know what? I know people are pointing at Kyle Busch to be one of the top picks, but I have to say I think Seabell goes 2 for 2. I mean, he's good at Bristol as well.
Yeah.
And I've been doing pretty good on my picks for the past couple of weeks. I mean, I picked Kyle Larson to win overall over there at Las Vegas. Got that on my fantasy picks correct. Struggled a little bit at Phoenix, but you know what? I think he'll continue the trend.
Well, and you know what's funny is Andy actually had him at a plus 154 to win when it comes to the Las Vegas odds from this past weekend on our TikTok over at Burning Rubber Radio. And actually, speaking of odds and picks too, by the way, folks, if you live in the North Carolina area, this is big news. But sports betting is officially live in North Carolina as of this past Monday, March the 11th. And with that being the case now, DraftKings, BetMGM, FanDuel, all of that, anywhere you can bet on motorsports, go grab your app and get betting on your favorite sports teams. NASCAR, WWE, NFL, NBA, whatever you want to bet on, have fun with it. I know come football season, I'm going to say this before we get back to picks here, I'm going to be betting against the Carolina Panthers all year. So,
yeah, they had a rough year.
Oh, 2-13 on the year? Yeah, that's a rough year.
Yeah, they had a rough year.
But either which way here. John, you have got pick number 2, my friend.
Well, Taylor's pick is good. Seabell is going to run good. I think he's going to run good there. But I'm kind of going out on the limb, and I'm going to pick the driver who's leading Stewart-Haas Racing right now, our buddy Noah Gragson.
Okay, all right. Noah Gragson for Bristol Motor Speedway. You know what? I am going to say, oh, man, if I had to pick any one driver, because knowing how volatile Bristol Motor Speedway is, I'm going to take a shot in the dark. I'm going to say Daniel Suarez.
Yeah, that's a good pick. Daniel's running good, yeah.
I'm going to say Daniel's going to be able to pop into the Pinata this weekend coming up at Bristol Motor Speedway. But it is that time here, folks, where we get out of here for the fastest 60 minutes in motorsports, John. It does not feel like it's already come and gone. But, like they say, come and gone, gone again. How long gone are you going to be? Either which way.
I'm gone again? Lord, Wayne, where'd you get that from?
Hey, trust me, I hear enough stuff being an Uber driver. You never know what saying might pop out of my mouth next. But
ain't no telling.
Yeah, right. But with that said here, folks, it has been another fun 60 minutes here on Burning Rubber this week. And for everybody involved, the NASCAR chef John Dix, for Taylor Burris joining us for just a little bit, and for our guest this week, Dawn Purdue, I'm producer Wayne. Until next week, Burning Rubber, baby.
Burning Rubber, baby.
Burning Rubber Radio is a production of White Lightning Entertainment with studios in Statesville, North Carolina, and was brought to you by Drive Refine. It's more than driver coaching, it's Drive Refine. Visit driverefine.com to get signed up today. This week's show was produced by Wayne Owens. Remember to visit burningrubberradio.com for news, recipes, and more great content. Burning Rubber Radio can be seen on Rumble, YouTube, or wingding.tv and heard on radio stations nationwide. Any use of the accounts or descriptions contained in this broadcast must be the express written permission of White Lightning Entertainment.